Well, back with another Apple unboxing, as these are the second products that have kind of come into the studio. Yesterday, we took a look at the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro. I will leave links up here, but this is all around the Apple Watch. So this is the brand new Series 8. I know a lot of the hype was on the Apple Watch Ultra, which is coming to the studio. I think that's officially available a week from now, but if you already haven't, shameless plug, make sure you're subbed. Let's quickly take this out of the box, and this is the most popular one. This is the Midnight Aluminum. For all intensive purposes, it looks pretty much close to black, along with the Midnight Sport Band. So this is the cheapest option you can get. It starts at $399. That's for the smaller 41 mil, whereas $429 for the 45 mil. So there's a $30 difference in the increase of size, but for the most part, the aluminum ones are the cheapest. You can of course grab them in stainless steel, the Nike edition, and the Hermes for all you extra ballers out there. Out of this little box, it's almost this little origami style where the little flaps come up. This opens up, and I always loved how this looks inside. On the inside, it's a nice little display of some of the Apple Watches with some of the different bands that you can get. And we'll stick that off to the side. And you can see that it actually comes in two separate little boxes. If this is the first time seeing it, now you know. This is, of course, the watch, and this is the rubber band. So let's get the watch out of the box first. We've got these little strips on the side, and this slowly comes off. And we have the good old designed by California in Apple, little saying that we have here on the channel. And inside, we, of course, have just user manuals, warranty info, and this isn't a phone, so we don't get any Apple stickers. It also comes with the new fast charger, which came out last year. And if you're coming from an older Apple Watch a couple of series ago, it is denoted by this little silver ring around the outside, and of course with the USB-C bottom. So you get 80% in a 45-minute charge. So typically people charge their watches overnight. Now you can just stick it on your desk for 45 minutes. You can get all day use, which is pretty nice because that actually ties into some of the features which we'll get to. This is the actual watch itself, and you can see 45 mils on the back, and this is actually in a nice biodegradable sort of cardboard now. That kind of slots out, and you can see the watch in aluminum itself. And if we can get a nice little close-up macro shot, this is of course the sapphire crystal with all the handy little sensors that you can track things like ECG, the new one being temperature, which we'll get to in a second, heart rates, and all the good stuff on the back with all those sensors. So we'll get this set up. It's pretty simple, to be honest. You just need the latest iOS, which is of course iOS 16. And right off the bat, you can see some of the new watch faces which come in watchOS 9. So for example, the first one, I've got mine customized in orange. This is Metropolitan. Swiping over, you can actually see the new watch faces in its own little category. So we have Astronomy, Lunar, Metropolitan, Modular, Playtime, and Portraits. So all those were announced. Of course, it's nice to see. And for example, Astronomy, I will quickly tap on that. And quickly tapping on our good old planet Earth, you can actually see the location which I'm in, and you can use the dial or the crown to change up the different time zones. So it's kind of cool to see new watch faces. There are none that really stick out to me. The one that I'm really eyeing, or the ones that I always love, are the Nike watch faces, and I'm super stoked because as of watchOS 9, you can now get Nike watch faces across any of the models, so you don't have to buy the specific Nike one, which a video is coming for that shortly. So let's get this off to the side. Let's get this little band unboxed, because this is my favorite one, to be honest. Just the plain rubber ones. I'm holding my older Apple Watch here, and they just are the best for working out, which I find the majority of the time when I'm using an Apple Watch is what I use it for. It wicks sweat away, it doesn't hold any water, because the nylon ones technically are for working out, but I find that they get damp. The rubber ones are just the comfiest, and of course, I am just always excited to get new watch bands because you have hundreds to choose from. Same sort of thing, and you can see the two different watch band options. So you've got the medium to large as well as the small, and this is also in midnight, so we're rocking a midnight on midnight watch. As with all Apple Watches, they use the rail system, and this is what I gotta give huge props to Apple for. They just have the most customization for the watch bands compared to anything else on the market. I think if Apple Watches were their own division, I think they would be like valued as the 5th most powerful company. I'm just making up numbers, but a lot of people own Apple Watches. They are the best selling smartwatch that you can get, and it's for a reason. They just work. So quickly, I will take off my watch. You can see my hideous watch tan. That just proves how much I do wear watches. And I will slip this onto my wrist. So the new features coming in Series 8. Those are mostly coming to the internals, because if I take my Series 7 side by side, they have the exact same design, they have the exact same form factor, they have the exact same finish. The new features to this are mostly around the new temperature sensor. So there's actually 2 of them built in, and that helps track temperature while you're sleeping. Super useful for tracking female cycles, super useful for actually just tracking your own health to see if your base temperature deviates when you're sleeping. So I know that if you are hungover, if you've drank too much, if you're jet lagged, I was gonna say jet lugged, but lugged, watch, jet lag, I'll stop. If you have jet lag, that actually will deviate in your sleep patterns, and you can actually see that across a graph. So definitely useful, more so useful for women's health, which obviously is super important. It has the new crash detection, which is technically available for the new SE. And honestly, other than that, it has pretty much remained the same as Series 7. So you can do all of the same things. You can still track things like ECG, blood oxygen, hundreds of different workout modes. It's still water resistant. It's still the best Apple Watch that you can get. But is it worth upgrading if you already own Series 7? I would definitely say probably not, unless you really need that temperature sensor. But in all honesty, the Apple Watch SE that comes in at $249 is still the best value. And if you were deciding between both, I would pick the SE to save that extra money. It still has some of the same features like crash detection. It does not have an always-on display, which I'm not really too partial of. The display itself is slightly smaller, so you will have slightly larger bezels. The back is made out of a nylon, which keeps the cost down, but that lives on the back anyways. You don't really notice that. I think a lot of people will actually be deciding between this and the Ultra, which is coming to the studio, I believe, next week. So make sure you stay posted. I did take some initial shots of it at my briefing today, and I did think it was pretty effing cool, just because of the orange, that all orange band, which I'm obviously drawn to. It is chunkier, it is larger, but it's also more expensive. I think Canadian dollars, we're pushing close to $1,000 for an Apple Watch. So it really kind of fits in where your budget is. And once again, that Apple Watch SE, which I can't stop plugging for 249 bucks, that is some awesome value. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick vid, my kind of review of the new Apple Watch Series 8. And because Apple technically no longer officially sells the 7, I'm sure you can snag it on a discount from places like Amazon, from Best Buy. So keep your eyes posted for that one, or maybe even just buy one used off Kijiji. That's really up to you. Hope you guys enjoyed this vid, and I'll catch the rest of you in one of my next ones. Peace.